So I'm doing the oil change on this Lexus RX350 for my friend, and she said, hey, it makes some noise when I turn. That's why I'll check it out. So on these Lexuses, in case you don't know, when you get in here, you can't see the power steering fluid, but if you look right here, it says power steering fluid. So you'll have 4 snaps. These little guys right here. Get them with a flathead or get them with your fingers. I got a couple of them with my fingernails, just popped them up. And then you just take this off, set it aside. Well, it's probably a little low. It is indeed empty, okay? So almost all Japanese cars, as I found out, my mom's Ford Taurus that she had, use ATF, normally Dexron or Mercon, for power steering fluid. So I got Castrol Dexron Mercon. We'll fill that up, and then we will start the car and work it a little bit and see if it is indeed leaking and work the air bubbles out. Okay, so as you see, it has marks on it. I don't know if you can see that, but it says hot minimum, hot max. I filled it up to hot max because I drove this car here. Okay, we'll put this back on, and what we will do, I think it's leaking right there. We will start the car, and then we will just turn it back and forth. Now, as you can see, I got in there and just turned the rack 3 or 4 all the way, lock to lock. It has stopped making noise, but if you notice, it took a bunch of fluid. So that means the line and the rack, the power steering rack, was probably empty too. So I'm gonna fill it up again and just keep turning it. And I've noticed this is getting wetter. I can see fluid coming out of that. So I'd say this hose or that reservoir needs to be replaced. I would do both of them. I would go ahead and replace that hose and this reservoir. And you can see it's leaking down there on our AC line too. So I would say it's this hose. But what I was talking about doing, when I say work it back and forth, we will just get in here, just turn it all the way, turn it all the way, the other way. Turn it all the way. Turn it all the way. Notice there's no noise. It's a lot smoother too. I'm going to tell you, I drove it here with no power steering. It was a little rough. Okay, so what you're doing, since that was empty, there was air in the lines, in the rack, everything. Now, we'll check the fluid again, top it off. Okay. It hasn't used any, so it should be full. I'll tell Olivia to check this in 3 or 4 days because she works with me. She said she was going to go home for the holidays. Then that's like 2-hour drive for her, I think. So I'll tell her, drive it home and back, and then we'll check it again. I'm going to give her that bottle, that way in case it leaks massively and she needs it again. But something else you can do is, if you're going to use leak stop power steering, I recommend the Prestone. It's a yellow bottle Prestone ATF with leak stop or leak seal or whatever. That's the one I've used over the years for power steering systems. It seems to work really well. I've had no issues with it, like gumming stuff up or whatever, and it does seem to actually like work on the leak stop. So that's what I would use. If you choose to use it, it's on you. It's just the one I like. So that's how we very easily today fixed or diagnosed the power steering problem. Like I said, in about a week or so, I'll check this again for her. Then we might look into having that hose replaced or replacing that hose. Yeah, it's that hose. Okay. Thanks everybody. I hope this helps you out. Either just find your power steering fluid or find your power steering fluid leak and how to fill it up. So, follow up to this video. It indeed was not that hose or that reservoir. There was a slight leak at that hose, but they just tightened it out. It turned out that it was the power steering rack itself. She took it to the dealer. The dealer told her that's very common on these Lexus RX350s or 330s, whatever that body style is, that first gen Lexus, that the rack leaks, the seal on the shaft goes out, and when you turn it, tears the seal basically and dumps all the fluid out one side or the other. I had a similar thing happen on a Jetta. The dealer also broke her windshield while they were replacing her steering rack. I don't understand how you break a windshield on her power steering rack. And then they also left her camshaft sensor unplugged or something, and it threw like massive timing codes and was in limp mode and all this stuff. So yeah, so if you have this issue in your car, don't just keep dumping fluid in it. It's going to get worse and you're going to toast a rack. So just take it somewhere and see if they can replace your rack. I would say take it to the dealer, but she had pretty bad luck. So cut that out.